I think that if you are discussing the substance of the things that he's saying, that you can prove your case a lot better. If you're like, the guy is incoherent, let me read to you what he just said. Or like last night that he spent majority of his evening reposting or truthing over 100 times, attacking Democrats, immigrants. Alex Jones, I guess, is a favorite now. He's saying that Michelle Obama may have used Biden's auto pen to right? Like, those are things that I think resonate more with people than we don't really know about the Walter Reed visit, and I want to talk about the cankles or the bruising on his hands. Like, that doesn't win you elections. Going through the record and saying these are the things that he's doing that are helping no Americans put more money in their pockets is the way to go forward.
Jessica Tarlov, God bless her, continues to be the rare voice of reason at Fox News, that the audience needs to be listening to and probably are trying to ignore as hard as they can, because otherwise all of the BS that Trump is spitting out will just be flying right over their heads.
Under my executive order to lower prescription drug prices, which I think is the single biggest thing we've ever done that nobody writes about, because you're fake news. I've made unprecedented deals along with Bobby and Oz and all of the people that work on it. A lot of people that you wouldn't even think work on it, but they do, to slash drug prices by 200%, 300%, 400%, 500%, 600%, 700%, 800%. Nobody's ever heard of it before.
The president can count to 800. That's impressive. Skipping by 100 each time. The in-between numbers get him a little bit groggy.
Well, nobody's ever heard of it because those numbers don't make mathematical sense. If there was a reduction of more than 100%, Americans would get paid to acquire their medications, which is not happening. He could tout some actual reductions in the prices of a smattering of drugs, but they're not more than 100%, and that's certainly not widespread.
Grocery prices are down, with the cost of Thanksgiving turkey this year down 33%. It was lower than 33% lower than under the Biden administration. Egg prices are way down 86%. Thank you.
No, they're up. They're up 2.7% year over year as of September, 1.4% from the month he returned to office in January. So up, not down.
Since last January, we've stopped inflation in its tracks. And there is still more to do. There's always more to do, but we have it down to a very good level. It's going to go down a little bit further. You want to have a little tiny bit of inflation, otherwise that's not good either. Then you have a thing called deflation, and deflation can be worse than inflation. But we have it almost, we'll soon be at a perfect level.
Well, the inflation rate in September, the most recent we had, was 3% year over year. That is the exact same as it was in January, and September was the fifth consecutive month the year over year rate had increased. So it's rising. It hasn't been stopped. He said he inherited the worst inflation in history. No, again, he inherited 3% inflation. Even the peak Biden era inflation, Dana, 9.1% in June 2022, was not close to the all-time record.
I proudly signed the largest tax cuts in American history with the Great Big Beautiful Bill. The Great Big Beautiful Bill, the biggest piece of legislation ever signed, and that includes the extension of the original Trump tax cuts. But it's the biggest tax cut ever signed, and it includes no tax on tips, no tax on overtime, and no tax on Social Security. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. So
didn't do that. It temporarily increased the standard deduction for seniors, but didn't fulfill his campaign pledge to completely eliminate tax on Social Security.
In 4 long years of the Biden administration, there were just $1 trillion of new investments in the United States in 10 months. We've secured commitments of over $18 trillion. So they had, in 1 year, less than $1 trillion. That's in a period of 4 years. Think of it, 4 years they had less than $1 trillion. In 10 months, we have more than $18 trillion. Is that right, Scott? It's even going to be higher than that.
That number is about double the number the White House's own website uses. That website uses $9.6 trillion. I went through that number line by line based on the White House's supposed figures, found that even that smaller figure is a large, wild exaggeration. So certainly no basis for that 18 trillion figure. So in summary, we've heard all these before. We've debunked them before online on TV, but the president keeps saying them.
Look, this kind of fact-checking by CNN, while essential, is the bare minimum of what should be required of our news outlets, especially now that Trump and his allies are targeting media outlets that aren't friendly to their agenda. Did you see the Pentagon the other day with just Matt Gaetz and Laura Loomer being the only people pretending there to be even pressed, asking questions because they're the only ones that agreed to be at press briefings and only report what the government wants them to report, which is the exact opposite of what press is supposed to do and what the meaning of the term is, what the entire purpose of the industry is, or as Trump says, industry. So they're being targeted by Trump if they're not friendly to the Trump agenda, and they're called fake news. You're fake news. But the Democrats should maybe be pointing this out, like how Trump's making up numbers and lying about every single thing and pretending like things are going well for them, for the American people, when they're not. I mean, his new catchphrase now is that affordability, the word affordability, is a Democrat hoax. Let's see how that one plays come the midterms. Keep saying that, President Trump. That would be really great. Ignore completely the legitimate economic concerns of tens of millions of Americans across the country. Smart move. Very, very smart move. And there's this clip from Scott Bessent as well.
In a blue state, affordability is worse than a blue state.
We can debate that, but keep going.
No, there's no debate. The number 50 basis points higher inflation, the 10 highest inflation rates they are in blue cities.
I mean, he doesn't even look like he knows what he's talking about. So he literally lost his place while saying the bull. So if that's any indication for you. But go on. Fact check it, Andrew Ross Sorkin.
Just so you know, because I went to look at this. This is the Joint Economic Committee, since 2021. The highest inflation of the past 4 years has been in red states, especially Florida.
I'm talking about current.
Current. Not over the past 4 years.
Right. Today.
Okay. I would think 4 years would be a reasonable trend line to look at.
Today it is 50 basis points higher. So anyway, and look, the people are voting with their feet. I have the American people on my side.
And you're speaking with your feet, bro, because what? Today, this very moment, at this minute, my affordability is better than yours this very moment because I'm not doing anything this exact second. So take that, statistics. I mean, come on. Look, we're living in a post-truth era. We ceded the concept of truth a long time ago. We shouldn't have done it. Nobody put up a fight. I tried to say things, but nobody listened. We now live in a world with AI making up literally fake video, fake photos, fake audio, a president that says fake things, fake statistics, and people just believe it. And they, even if he gets fact-checked, he just doesn't acknowledge the fact check, calls them fake, and keeps lying. So it's a total denial of reality that we're seeing from MAGA, from Trump, about the state of the economy. It's a textbook feature of authoritarianism, if that matters at all. You know, if you want to live under a dictatorship, go ahead. I'd rather not. And it shouldn't be viewed under a partisan lens at all, but rather a class lens that could help unite disaffected Trump voters, and many are leaving Trump. Just look at TikTok. You see many of them dissenting and leaving Trump all the time. They could help pressure centrist Democrats to ditch their corporate backers as well and work in the economic interests of the average American would be nice. Or you could just keep having Chuck Schumer phlegmatically talk about what we're going to do is something really slowly, and then we'll see. And let Trump continue to just bull rush a bunch of BS into our brains until we have no ability to discern fact from fiction anymore. I look forward to it. I'm being sarcastic, but you don't know the difference, do you? I'm Ben Gleib for Rebel HQ. You can follow me at Ben Gleib on Instagram for lots more.